G-Ditch, and welcome back to Craic on the Coast. I'm Michael Schilling, and today we're looking ahead to the Worcester Irish Cultural Festival, back for its third year at Polar Park on Saturday, October 4th. We'll talk about how the festival has grown, what's in store for 2025, the new pub passport program. There's rumors of a Friday night kickoff party on the 3rd and so much more. Plus, I'll share some exciting news about us, Craic on the Coast, possibly being on site this year. So I'd like to start by welcoming our guests. Joining me today is Gareth McAlinden and Cait Lubelczyk, two of the coordinators behind the Worcester Irish Cultural Festival. Gareth, Cait, welcome to Craic on the Coast.
Thanks for having us, Mike.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
No problem. Now, just to introduce everybody, everybody that's listening to the cultural festival itself, it's 3 years in. How did the idea spawn for doing a larger festival in Worcester like this?
Caitlin, you want me to take this one?
You take it, Gareth.
All right, I got it. Well, first of all, thank you for having us on. We really appreciate the support. So it's actually interesting how we all met. We talked a little bit before we went on air. We talked about my kind of background, and I actually came from the Plymouth area where Mike is. But when I moved out to Worcester, we actually had a GAA team out there, and there was a big Irish community out here. And myself and Cait were actually introduced to each other at a Worcester Chamber event, and we kind of back and forth talking. Wouldn't it be really cool to have an Irish festival, in Worcester, where you have the GAA, the Irish music, the local non-profits, the local music, all under one roof, and kind of celebrating Irish culture here in Worcester. Given the rich history that it does have, the Irish go back generations here in Worcester with, as far back as the Blackstone Canal. But yeah, that was kind of where it all stemmed from. And from there, we couldn't think of a better venue than Polar Park. Polar Park, Worcester, is actually built right by the Blackstone Canal, that was built by Irish people back in the 1800s. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of our, wouldn't it be cool to have that venue on an Irish festival? And fast forward 3 years later, and here we are, about to go to our third annual, and really starting to grow tremendously. So, I mean, obviously, it takes a lot of people and a lot of hard work to get it done. But we have some great people and great artists and great Irish people in the area here that helping to drive it on and support it. So that's kind of a quick background of it. I'm sure I can go more than that, but that's kind of a quick synopsis of it.
Sure. And so, now that you're 3 years in, what would you say is the biggest evidence of whether we want to call it growth or a milestone for the festival, or just overall experience?
I think we have seen it just grow as a festival itself. The first year, it was the first time that Gareth or I had done anything like this, and our committee was very, very small. It was me, Gareth, and his wife, and a few people helped here and there. But the first year, because Polar Park was taking a risk too. They had never had Gaelic football on the field. A lot of them didn't even know what the game entailed. So we were really treading lightly. The first year we had music over at the Hibernian Center, which is the Worcester Cultural Center, which is right across the street.
Mm-hmm.
We had Lunasa come in, and Lunasa is a huge international act, and they agreed to do the festival. So it was kind of like a two area festival. So we did the music over there, and then did a procession over right across the street to the park. And we had the games. So it was kind of on a small scale, but it gave us a chance to see just what the possibilities would be. And Polar Park said they'd have us back a second year. We were like, great. And Gareth said, what about hurling? Like, we really want hurling. And they were like, well, what does that entail? Is that gonna mess up the field?
That's the fastest sport on grass. How can you not have it?
Yeah, right. So we added hurling and also the entertainment in the park. So we had 3 bands, we had vendors. We really kicked it up a notch that second year. And it worked out great. We had double the attendance. And the games were amazing. We had a Guinness toast. We had great sponsors. And then this year, we kind of got into a rhythm. And yeah, we're really looking forward to what this year is going to bring.
Great. Now, obviously, we have to talk about the venue a little bit more. I mean, Polo Park, it's obviously when they moved the team from Pawtucket to Worcester, that was a huge move for them. And you might say, I mean, any move like that would be a risk, but having the Woo Sox as part of the Worcester community, and then they must be a good partner to have. And it's a great venue. I mean, we've taken our kids out there every summer for a game because it's just a great overall venue, and it's accessible and easy to get to, and it's very, very family friendly.
Yeah.
How does your festival kind of work into the park itself?
Yeah, I just to go back to that, I was born and raised in Worcester, and I still get emotional going into the park because it just is such a beautiful park. Really gotten to know the people who work there, and they're just all incredible people, and we're very, very lucky to have the park in Worcester. I think our festival lends itself well to that venue. We have the field, so we can have the games there. We have multiple locations where we could have stages. So we have the stage on an area that overlooks the field. So people can still sit, enjoy their food and their drink, listen to music, and watch the games because a lot of the time the entertainment is running simultaneously with the games.
Oh, very cool.
But we also have that huge concourse where we can have vendors. And we're going to have a traditional Irish session this year too on the concourse. So it's big enough where people have enough room to move around. There's plenty of seating. And it's just, it's open air, but if God forbid there's any kind of weather, it's covered too. So, well, not the field, but it's a really nice spot, central location near the train station, near the highways. Plus we have so many colleges in Worcester. It's really, I think, the perfect place for a festival like this.
That's great. Now, with regards to vendors, are you guys excited about who's coming in, or do you have to turn people away, or, give a little bit of detail, a little bit of snippet of what people could expect?
Yeah, we haven't had to turn anyone away yet. We do have some, they're mostly, small businesses. We have people with Irish wear. We have an Irish woman who has a booth at the Worcester Public Market. I don't know if you've been over there, but it's incredible. It's a really cool building with tons of little shops and restaurants and a little grocery store. But there's a woman there who has Erin's gift store. She'll be over there selling her beautiful Irish wear. We have a chocolate maker, Bree's Sweet Treats. She's won like best chocolatier for the past few years in Worcester. She has a giant peanut butter cup that everyone loves.
Oh, wow.
We have some other ones that we won't mention yet because I think that's a big announcement. But we have, people are really excited about it. The food vendors will be selling things to go. So that's a part that has grown this year exponentially, I would say. We only had a few vendors last year. This year, we're probably going to have about 30.
Oh, wow. That's a lot. That's a lot for
Yeah.
people to do while they're, enjoying the music and walking around, whether it's, like you said, if there's a little bit of weather, then you still have covered area to be able to supply those experiences. So that's great.
Right.
One thing we're excited about that I'd love to talk to you about is two familiar faces here on Craic on the Coast. We've had on both Davey Holden and Mike Reardon from Guinness, and both great, great conversations. And from what I understand, they're both going to have workshops during the festival, correct?
They sure are. Yeah. So Davey's actually going to be playing on the Friday night at the Fiddlers. So Fiddlers Green, which is the local where the Ancient Order of Hibernians and the LAOH meet. So Davey will be playing there on the Friday. I think we're locking down a time. I won't quote you exactly, but I think it's around at the 5:30 mark. But make sure you follow us on social media for more accurate times closer to that date. But Davey's phenomenal. I actually been following Davey for a long time, and kind of let the group know. And was like, hey, listen, he's moving to the US. So he actually moved to New York last year in September,
Mm-hmm.
and I got in touch with him and was like, "Hey, you're moving to New York. We would love to love you to come over to Worcester and take part in the festival in any way we can, and whether it's a workshop or just there as a vendor, just talking to people." And he was all about it. And since then, we've had a great relationship with Davey. You might be seeing some of his videos with our shirts on, with our Worcester Irish Cultural Festival shirt, which he says is his favorite shirt. He might say that to everybody, but I think he means it.
Gotcha.
Because
I would I would believe anything he says. I mean, he's got to be historically accurate.
Yeah, but he's got a great following, and his videos are very engaging. They're those little short clips that really attract the younger audience as well. So we're gonna have him, and then Mike as well. I mean, he's phenomenal. I could listen to him talk all day about Guinness.
When we had him in, and just to you obviously, I mean, if you're in any type of field where it has to do with a product, or even in Davey's place, you have to be passionate about it. And to listen to Mike talk about Guinness, you can tell that it is the most passionate thing that other than maybe his family. It's great to listen to him, and the knowledge of Guinness that he has about the science behind it and everything. It really is. It's fun to listen to him talk.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have the two of them there. So Davey and Mike Reardon. So we'll have workshops with both of them. And then another person, I think it's worth noting as well. We'll have, and I'm going to butcher his last name. His name is Jamerd Omirchar. He's actually a professor at Holy Cross here in Worcester.
Okay.
But he was actually one of the rising stars in Ireland as a box player, recognized by the RTE and TG Cahir. Very well known in the music in the trad music industry over in Ireland. So he'll be there as well. Definitely something worth looking at. I know he's performed at the Irish Cultural Centre. He's performed at other festivals. So we're really bulking. We're bulking up the list of vendors and like the entertainment to really kind of catch the audience of a lot of different people, because these guys have a lot of big followers too.
Sure. Oh yeah. I mean, Davey especially. I mean, I think he's up to 200,000 followers on Instagram at this point, or something, which I think is absolutely amazing for someone who his whole presentation is about snippets of Irish history. The fact that you have that much interest in it, I think, is great, because it's giving people an avenue that they might not have the ability to sit down or the patience to sit down and read a book on history from cover to cover, but he gives you those little tidbits of information. I'm really looking forward to get in to watch his workshop. It sounds really great.
I think that was why it was so important to have Davey with us for this festival specifically, because it does offer that true Irish culture piece that I think is really important when you're celebrating Irish culture and Irish heritage. And so to have a room full of people sit down and listen to him, talk about real Irish history. It's not just all about drinking and singing pub songs. This is a real history that a lot of people are very tied to. And so having him, and he was one of the team last year. He came to the after party with us. I think he needed the year to recover, because he was our right hand guy the whole weekend, and it was just so great. Mike too. We're super excited to have them both back.
Yeah, and when we had Davey on, we asked him the question, what do you really hope your success on Instagram will bring? And he was very vocal in saying that his most enjoyable thing right now is going to festivals and doing his workshops, which I think is great, because that's just sharing even more information with, like you said, Cait, for people that are thirsting for their culture, but beyond just the stereotypical stuff. So I think that's great. And it's great that you guys are offering that as options for people that are coming. Now, everybody, you guys have both kind of like hinted about it, about supposedly there is a kickoff party the Friday before the festival.
Yeah.
So are you able to give any more details on that, or is that something that you're holding close to the chest until?
Oh yeah, no, we'll tell everyone about it.
Okay.
So the kickoff party starts at Fiddler's Green with Davy Holden. I believe the time we settled on was 6:30, Gareth, but all of that information will be on our Instagram and our Facebook. I'll take a minute to plug that because we just hit 605 followers this morning.
All
So
right.
we're small but mighty. We're getting there. And then 8 o'clock, a band called Goodbye Irene is playing at Fiddler's as well. But we know a lot of people are going to be wanting to celebrate the festival kickoff. We really wanted it to be like a 3-day event for this. And we have kind of the footprint to do that. All of these pubs are within walking distance to the park.
Mm-hmm.
So then, if you want to listen to a little bit of Goodbye Irene, you can head over to Boland's Irish Bar and Patio right on Water Street. It's owned by Shuggy Porter. He's on our committee. He's a great guy, great bar owner. We have a band called Songs for Kaylee there, and they start at 9 p.m. So it's gonna be a really fun night. We were out much too late last year to get up very early to go set up for the festival, but we're probably going to do it again this year and we're ready for it. But yeah, no, the kickoff party's a really good time.
That's great. And now you brought up the conversation piece about the amount of walkable pubs in downtown Worcester, and that's great for nightlife. But let's talk about the pub passport program that you guys came up with this year. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Do you want me to take it, Gareth?
Yeah, go ahead. That's pub passport is yeah, Caitlin. It's Caitlin and Michaela's work is also a girl from Derry, who's on our committee as well. So I wouldn't be able to do it as good as a justice as Caitlin.
It's just, I mean, it's been so, one of the reasons that Gareth and I decided to start this festival is because we wanted to involve as many people as possible who were passionate about Irish culture, about Irish heritage, like true Irish culture. And Irish pubs fall into that category. I think it's a place where people gather and laugh and listen to music and tell stories. And so we have a lot of those here in Worcester, and a lot that we discovered last year were, they're like, why didn't you ask us to sponsor? We would have sponsored. And my answer was always, you're a small business. Like, we're not going to ask you for money. And they're like, no, but we want to be involved. So Michaela came up with this great idea. Why don't we do a passport system where you go to a bar? I have a marketing background, so I drafted up these passports, like these little passports, and we dropped off a bunch at 9 bars that agreed to be partners. But they're actually sponsors. They're all giving $500. They're going to be listed as a bronze sponsor. And in return, we'll be promoting this pub passport program. So if you go into the bar, order a pint or a drink or a diet soda if you want, and get your passport stamped. If you get your whole passport stamped in the month of September, very early October, then you'll get 2 free tickets to the festival. And the response from our pub owners and our bartenders have just been, it's more than we ever imagined. They are liking and sharing on social media. Galway Bay Pub said that they put on their social media that they're giving away a pint if you come in, like not a pint of beer, but like a beautiful glass pint
Mm.
with their logo on it. Moyna's Tavern, the oldest Irish tavern in Worcester, Scruffy Murphy's, Funky Murphy's, Quinn's Blue Plate right in Holden, Patsy Dugan's. Who am I missing? Fiddler's Green, Boland's. So they're all in on it. We did a fun little scavenger hunt, and went into all these bars and asked them if they'd be interested. And then a few days later, we had the passports printed, and we went and brought them little gift bags with the passports and coasters and posters. And it was really nice because it gave us a chance. We were quote unquote working for the festival, but it gave us a chance to go in, meet the people who work there, get them excited about the festival, and and now we can cross promote, and maybe people will go into all of the bars, not just stay at the bar that they're used to. They can go in and meet new people, and
Sure.
I think it's really important and really fun.
I mean, it's the best type of homework getting ready for a festival. You just
Right?
have to go around and introduce yourself and meet new people, and in the end, you get free entry into the festival when it's all over and done with.
Exactly.
I'm upset. I'm in Plymouth right now instead of Worcester. I mean, that's I just think it's a great idea, and obviously, like you said, the pubs are sponsors, but in a way, if based on the continued success of the festival, I mean, it is an economic little pick me up for the Worcester area in a time where it's starting. You're getting into fall. People might not be doing as much. Baseball's no longer really being played at the park anymore, and it gives everybody in that area like another little kind of shot of economy. I think it's just a great tool.
Yeah.
And a lot of the bars are Irish owned as well. I know Caitlin talked about Boland's, who's owned with Shuggy, lad from Dublin. We have Funky Murphy's and Scruffy Murphy's that are owned by two guys from Dublin. A lot of ones from a lot of Irish Americans too. Galway Bay, a guy from Galway who owned it, who sadly passed away this year. Mike O'Connor, who was very heavily involved with the hurling team out in Worcester. So, people that have really give back to the community, and that's, that was the big thing when we were pitching the idea to these bars. These have all been very influential bars to the Irish community, and have always give back to the Irish community. So how can we help them at the same time and help promote each other? So that's, it's great that we get to give back, and maybe the day we went out to pitch the idea to all the bars, we maybe had a little too much fun. But you know what, it was a great time, and all of them seemed very, very excited about it. And in fact, Caitlin touched perfectly on it. How can we be involved? And that's kind of been the theme we've got from all the Irish bars. How can we be more involved?
Sure.
And we called it market research, to be fair. We called it market research. We had a driver.
Well, there you go. Then you did it responsibly, and that's the
sure
most
did.
important thing.
Yeah.
Well, and most Irish are gonna, I would say 100% Irish would know this, but people outside of our culture might not. I mean, the pub experience is, there's a reason why pubs are called like little mini embassies, because it's not just about drinking. I mean, if anything, drinking's kind of like secondary to just the interactions and what gets done in a pub compared to just going to a bar. So I think bringing them into the fold, I think that's a great, and it's another part of Irish culture beyond sport and beyond, that's just as part of Irish culture as anything else. So I think it's great that you guys have went out of your way to bring them into the fold. That's great stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, we can't obviously talk about the festival. We've talked about a couple of the music acts and performers that are going to be part of the festival, but you guys have some headliners too.
We sure do, yeah. So we have actually some great acts coming in. So a lot of listeners will probably know Ginty McGrath. Ginty is in the Boston area, who plays in a lot of the Irish bars around the Boston area and the South Shore. Ginty is from Cork, got a very good following, so we're very excited to get him out to Worcester and kind of give him a warm welcome out here to see, that. A lot of people in the South Shore think Worcester is in Western Mass. We're not that far away. So when we have an Irish festival, I have a lot of friends in the South Shore, and it's like, oh, you're out west. And it's like, no, we're not that far away. But we're very excited to get Ginty out. We'll give him a big warm Worcester welcome out here. And then after Ginty, we have the Poor Men. The Poor Men were fantastic last year at our festival, and they were kind of like right first on our list. We have to have them back. They actually kicked off the festival. I believe they're located in Central Mass, Caitlin. Am I right by saying that?
They are, yep.
Yeah, and they were phenomenal. They had the party starting right from like when we kicked it off at 12:30, and then followed by that, Derek Warfield and the Young Wolf Tones, which We actually got a sneak peek of them a couple of months ago when they did Irish Heritage Night at the Woosocks. And they were fantastic. There was a massive crowd for the Friday, and every Friday night is a busy night at Polar Park because they have the fireworks.
Right.
But having them there, they were fantastic. The crowd were engaged. It was very upbeat. Kind of what we're looking for in the festival. We want to have that upbeat. Everybody enjoying themselves, everybody happy vibe, and they definitely brought that. So, three really good acts coming in that I think will definitely boost attendance this year and boost the overall, the enjoyment of the festival. These guys are great performers. Not just obviously up in the field where we have the GAA, but having these guys, these musicians, we're very lucky to have them all.
Yeah, I mean, and Derek Warfield, I mean, you're talking about someone who is, he's a staple. I mean, he's a legend in his own right. And then when he separated from the rest of the group and he's got the young Wolf Tones, he's still bringing it and still sharing, that rebel feel. So I think it's like you said, if upbeat is the tone you're going for, they'll definitely be able to provide that. That's great. Now, so we've gone through some details of the festival itself, what you guys are going to have. One other thing you're going to have, which I'll make an announcement, is you're going to have us. We're going to be recording on location at Polar Park on Saturday the 4th. I'm very excited about this. This will only be our second time doing on location recording. When I reached out, you guys reached right back and you said, definitely come on over. So I'm excited about that. And I'm glad that we're going to be able to be there to share in the experience of the festival. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, we're so excited. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Like we looked at each other, we're like, well, that's a no-brainer. Of course we'd want you. And it's just another way to highlight the festival and having on-site, an on-site podcast is just really cool. It just adds a whole other element to the fest. So thank you for reaching out.
No, it totally is going your way. All the thank yous are your way. I mean, we're very early on in this journey of our podcast, but the response that we have got from the Irish community, not just here, internationally as well. We've done a lot of shows that have brought in guests in from Ireland, and the response to that has been great. But I'm glad we're able to bring exposure to what's going on in our own backyard as well. And what you guys are doing in Worcester is it's just overall celebration of our culture. There's nothing wrong with that at all whatsoever. And it's not during March, so the weather will probably be nicer, which I'm a huge proponent for. So
keep on knocking on wood for that one.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, we've been very lucky.
We've been very lucky.
Well, hopefully I don't jinx it.
No.
So another platform that I would want to give you guys the ability to talk about is, you both have said it. Festivals are not, it's a lot of hard work. I mean, when it's fun and you're passionate about it, it doesn't feel as much like work, but it is work. Are you guys looking for volunteers for either the Friday or definitely on the Saturday of the festival?
More so the Saturday, yeah. I know this Sunday we actually have a 1 month of the festival kickoff, and we're actually going to have an information table for people to actually sign up to be a volunteer and kind of ask different questions of what opportunities we have. But we are never going to turn down volunteers. So if there's anybody that wants to come by, and we obviously have different volunteer options, and even if it's an hour of your time or 3 hours of your time, anybody who volunteers their time, we always greatly appreciate it. And then I think that was really it with the volunteers, Caitlin. I think are we doing any other information sessions for volunteers?
No, but if anyone wants to email us at Worcester Irish Cultural Fest at gmail.com, they can send us their information, and we'd be happy to have a phone call or a chat about what you're looking for, what you're looking to volunteer for. We have a bunch of different locations throughout the festival that will need volunteers, but we also don't want it to be your full 6-hour day, so we're going to kind of break those into 90-minute volunteer opportunities. we had we had these great volunteers that we have inflatables that will be set up for kids over on the berm. We have like an inflatable like bouncy house and stuff like that. And these poor kids were there for like 5 hours and got sunburned. So we don't want that to happen again. We don't have insurance. No, we're fine. And they had a blast doing it, but like we really were like, oh my gosh, you're still there. So we really want to work that out.
Yeah, if you're in
And
the kids section, you're really earning your keep as a volunteer, though.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure are.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'm so glad that you, Gareth and Cait, you were able to come on today and for us to kind of give a lowdown on what's going on with the festival. I'm excited to be there. I haven't been able to get out there the past 2 years because I have a 12 and an 8-year-old, and their schedule kind of dictates my life right now. So, but it works out this weekend. That weekend we're gonna be able to get out there and enjoy it as a family, and then I'll also be able to sit down and record. And we've actually reached out to most of the headliners and a couple other. I think Davey's going to join us for a little bit, along with Mike. Derek Warfield said he would come by, so we're excited to really be able to talk to everybody as they're experiencing the festival on that day.
And maybe one suggestion there, we actually have, for the actual games itself, we actually have the New York Police Department Gaelic football team coming up to play a Boston team.
Oh, that's really cool.
So I know we didn't really touch base on that, but so we're going to have 3 games. We're going to have a ladies Gaelic football game, which will be our Worcester ladies team, who are just wrapped up their first full year as a team. So we're very proud of the girls. So they're going to be playing a Boston Gaelic for Mothers and Others team. That's probably a whole new episode for what that is. But pretty much it's a lot of the kids that have grown up through the youth system. It's their mothers that have played Gaelic football in the past, and they're just actually getting back into the game. So it gives them a platform. So we'll be kind of celebrating them as well. I
give them a lot of respect. If I got up back on a field to try to run around like that, my knees would just, no way.
They're fantastic. And then we actually have our men's hurling team. We'll be playing Father Tom's, who are based out of Boston.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then we will have the main game, which is Gaelic football, which will be an all-American Boston team. So pretty much a team put together of some of the best American homegrown talent against the New York Police Department, who are coming up for the day. So, and they are a very good team. They have actually a couple of people that play on the county panel in New York.
Wow.
So that'll be a very interesting game, and having the New York Police Department up will be a fantastic day for them and us as well. So maybe a good opportunity to talk to some of the stuff they do, because they do some great stuff for the community as well. Yeah,
that would be great. I definitely would. If you could send their contact info over, I definitely would connect with them prior to the festival. That'd be awesome. The sport is so important. I mean, with regards to how our culture presents itself, and the interactions, and just being able to entice the youth to get more involved with culture from home. I mean, the sport is what brings a lot of them in. So I think that's great that you're showcasing that, and you have the venue to be able to do that in. So that's good stuff. Okay. Well, do you guys have anything else that, obviously when we release the episode, in our show notes, we'll have links and contact information on the festival and how to help out if you have the ability to do so, how you can buy tickets, and go onto the website and get all the information with regards to the lineups for that day. Is there anything else that you guys would like to promote before we close it out?
Could we thank our sponsors really quick?
Oh, go for it. Definitely. They're paying the bill.
Okay. I mean, they're just like, we wouldn't be able to do this without them. So, we have 3 gold sponsors this year. We have Dream Big Wealth Strategies. They are our stage sponsor. It's a small business in Worcester, women owned, who she volunteered last year. She has her own business, and she's just really passionate about Irish culture and her Irish heritage. And so she said, I want to be involved. She's a sponsor this year. Discover Central Mass and Guinness are both gold sponsors. And then for silver, we have Rockland Trust, Bay State Bank, and that's and Vac2Go. And then we have our bronze sponsors, Bay State Brewing, Fontaine Brothers, South Coast Improvement, O'Connor Maloney, Murray and Murray LLP. And then also Worcester State University just signed up today as a silver sponsor. So we truly couldn't do it without all of these sponsors, and of course our passport sponsors. We will still accept sponsors. We're not doing our signage until next week. So if anyone is interested in sponsoring this year or next year, we'll take anything we can get.
I totally understand that. Sponsorship is so important when you're doing events, let alone something to the size and scale of what you guys are doing right now. So that's
right.
Well, and that's our ultimate goal, is to get bigger each year. And as we continue to grow, our hope is to bring in big acts and bigger acts as the years go by, as we look towards the future. So, every little helps, and it helps to grow for next year as well. So, Polar Park is an 8,000 capacity stadium. We're probably not going to get there this year. But someday, if we can get I think the Saw Doctors are coming in the next couple of weeks, so maybe we can
if you got them, yeah.
You never say never, right?
No.
Dream big.
Right. What I have learned from starting this podcast is that you can't be afraid to ask questions, because the worst thing that they will say is no. And you know what? A lot of times they don't. So hey,
yeah,
So that's
how we got Polar Park.
There you go. Right.
You just ask the question. It's like, what's the worst thing they're going to say? They're going to say no.
Yep, exactly. Well, Gareth and Cait, thank you both for joining me today. People can see you at the kickoff party on October 3rd, and obviously the festival on Saturday the 4th. So there you have it, folks. There's going to be music, food, Derek Warfield, all the other acts, sport, pub passports, workshops, Guinness. It's going to be a full day of Craic at Polar Park. And if you've got time, obviously consider volunteering. It's a great way to support the Worcester community, not just the Irish community. So again, check out our show notes. We will find all the links to the Worcester Irish Cultural Festival, their website, their social media pages, how to get in touch with them. Easiest way to get tickets, I would imagine, is to go to the website, correct, Cait?
Yes, it is. Yep, WorcesterIrishCulturalFestival.org.
Great. Again, thank you, Gareth and Cait, for being on today. This was great. I'm glad you could do it.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome. Now, if you enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, share it with a friend. And if you've got a story to tell or a topic you'd love to hear about, you can reach out to us by emailing at craiconthecoast@gmail.com. That's CRAIC onthecoast@gmail.com. We'll see you in Worcester, folks. Slongafoil.